You know, when you think of AI content, you might just be thinking of simple tricks or funny images, right? Well, forget all that. Something else is happening. A whole new and surprisingly sophisticated genre is absolutely exploding in AI storytelling, and it looks a lot like something you'd see on TV, the documentary.
So check this out, 300 million. That is a massive number, right? Well, that's how many views just one pretty new channel has managed to rack up.
And get this, they pulled that off in only 7 months. We're not talking about a slow burn here. This is a total explosion of interest in a niche that, honestly, you couldn't even say existed a year ago.
So, it all begs the question, and really, the whole point of this explainer. How in the world is AI creating this brand new wave of digital documentary storytellers? All right, so first things first, let's actually break down what this phenomenon is, because what we're witnessing is this giant leap from really simple AI stories to these, full-blown, super sophisticated sagas.
What we've got here is a whole new genre. Let's call it the AI wildlife documentary. And it's exactly what it sounds like. Creators are using generative AI to make these narrative videos that, I kid you not, feel like they could be straight out of a classic nature documentary.
And the evolution here is just, wow. It's really striking. If you look back, the old style of AI content, think channels like Hominid History. It was all about one single moment, like a very basic rescue story. But now, channels like Savannah Rush are doing something totally different. They're building entire worlds, with context, with backstory, with actual structured plots. It's just a huge, huge upgrade.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just about, hey, let's generate a cool clip anymore. The whole game has changed. The focus now is on crafting the entire story, explaining what led up to the event, what the stakes are, and why you should even care about the outcome.
Okay, so why is this so effective? Why is it going viral? Let's try to deconstruct the formula here. I'm kind of calling it the Nat Geo effect.
It turns out there's a real secret sauce here with a few key ingredients. What these creators are doing is blending different genres. You've got the animal rescue angle, the first-person point of view, a bit of geography, and mixing it all with these really high-stakes, emotional stories. And the key is they're building consistent worlds, consistent characters, and bringing it all to life with AI visuals that are getting scarily photorealistic. And the result? I mean, it's pretty incredible, because they nail that consistency with the characters and the environments, and the visuals are so good, it is getting really hard to tell what's real and what's AI generated. And that believability, well, that's where all the magic comes from.
All right, so this all sounds amazing, right? But the big question is, how do you actually do it? So let's get into the creator's AI blueprint. Turns out there are pretty much 2 main paths you can go down.
So on one hand, you've got what we'll call the manual method. This one gives you way more control, but it's going to take more of your time and you're piecing together a bunch of different, mostly free tools. Then on the other hand, there's the automated method. This is the fast track. It's way quicker because you're using an all-in-one platform that does all the heavy lifting for you.
Okay, so let's walk through that manual workflow. Step 1, you're going to generate your script, probably with something like ChatGPT or Claude. Then, you create the voiceover with a tool like 11 Labs. After that, you've got to generate your still images. Then, animate them using a video tool, say VO3, to make them move. And for the final step, you just pull everything together in a video editor you're comfortable with, like CapCut.
But here's the crucial part. If you're going the manual route, the absolute secret is this. Generate your character reference images first, before you do anything else. That one step is how you keep your characters looking the same across all your different scenes, and believe me, that consistency is what sells the whole documentary feel. Okay, now what about that automated path? Well, this is where you use an all-in-one tool. A good example is something called Magic Light AI. It's basically designed to handle that entire process we just talked about, the script, the images, keeping the characters consistent, the voiceover, the animation. It does the whole shebang in one spot.
And the efficiency here is, well, it's pretty wild. You basically just paste in a script or a prompt, and the AI takes over. It splits your story into shots. It figures out who the main characters are to keep them consistent, and then it animates the entire storyboard for you. It literally automates the most boring and tedious parts of the whole thing.
So the big so what? What does this all mean for creators, for you? Well, what we're looking at here is a wide-open digital frontier, and that means there is a huge, massive opportunity for anyone who's paying attention right now.
And here's the real key takeaway.
Yeah, tons of people are playing around with AI, but this specific style, this high-quality narrative documentary style, it's still a super small niche. There's honestly very little competition. It's like a brand new frontier just waiting for people to come in and define it.
And you know how it goes with any new frontier, right? The people who jump in now, the early movers, they're the ones who get the biggest advantage. Once the space starts getting crowded, and it will, it's just going to be so much harder to stand out from all the noise.
But hey, even if you're not the very first person in the door, there are still tons of ways to find your own unique angle. You could just tweak the storytelling perspective a little, or maybe focus on totally different animals or biomes. You could even ditch the whole rescue angle and just make a pure classic-style wildlife documentary. The point is, there's so much room to get creative here.
Look, the opportunity is crystal clear. The people who move on this now are going to have a serious head start in a field that is just developing like crazy.
So to wrap this all up, the final question really isn't about the tech anymore. It's about creativity. Because as these tools get more and more powerful and way more accessible, they're just knocking down all the technical barriers. So the only real question that's left for you is, what story are you going to tell?